podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Hold on, man. Nah, we don't want to hear none of that. All that talking over with. So we can forget all that talk. All that stuff we done said in the past, what you did to somebody else and what you did to them, forget that. Now it's time to get right here, get your ass on right swing, man.
I'm back in the ring, American dream, just me and my team. Them Florida boys, shout out to King. Another money grab with the Wu-Tang cream, raw tea with the flow, as King got mean. From a small town called Fresh, off a bitch niggas ass niggas ever think of calling out me. Okay, my lid's low, but then lid's low. You know it started out this pole. Nothing like yo kin folks, fuck Nike, I do it like this. I got all the belts, young Klitschko, if you want smoke, flame on. The only problem with that, Holmes, you got a glass jaw and I'm Roy Jones. Speak on my name, let me find out. Border wars, blow your lights out. Mano a mano, we grind out. Throw in the towel, no calling the time. Flipping niggas call over, I'm the new Earl Spence. Top rank, die niggas still sitting on the bench. Left jab, left hook, right hook. Got it glitch, Vaseline all on me, so they blame it on the drip. I've got an unorthodox style, new for your mans. And shout out to Jimma, shout out to Francis. All of my competition touch the canvas. Most of them going home in ambulances. Beat all the odds, still taking chances. Knocking you weak ass fighters out your stances. Locate the sponsors, I need advances. Ali Boubaye, that boy dance.
Yeah, ain't no more talking now. Ain't no more trainers, ain't no more promoters. Can't call yourself no champ, man, if you can't come through me. Get your ass in the right swing, man.
Niggas just over there trolling, they don't want no smoke. Better have a Kevin Hart. Thinking I'm a joke, ain't shit to talk about. But you heard Liz low. Get your ass in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Nigga. Get in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Swing. Get in the ring. Nigga. What up, boys?
Man, I need that. I'm a champ. I need that. I need a few others, but we'll work on that.
Let's go. Shawn, Mission Impossible Jones, welcome back. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs, and we are back with another episode of Unguarded, where TBV sits down with one of its Border Wars fighters and peels back the layers. We're trying to get to know a little bit more about our participants, and this time on the docket, we got Shawn, Mission Impossible Jones. First took a fight with Border Wars at 175 pounds, and he's moving up to the big boy division where the belts are at 190. I know him and Rell, Fireflame Harris had some back and forth words. Him and Anthony Queen City Cobra had some back and forth words. So we're going to get to know all it is about the gentleman, right? Because this company's called Gentleman Driving Club. But Shawn, Mission Impossible, what's going on, champ? How are you? Oh, you got to unmute, champ. I had muted you. You had some background during the beginning, but yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, brother?
All right. Doing very well. Is there an echo on your end, or are we good?
It'll go away. We don't hear it, but normally we hear our guests say the same thing until it finally goes away. But talk to us, man. What's going on? What brings you back to Border Wars Season 9? You were last a participant of Season 7. What's bringing you back?
Yeah, I love the experience in season 7. I had a great fight. Felt like it was one of the more entertaining fights on the card. Season 8, kind of in the thick of COVID and everything like that, and wasn't able to make the journey up to your neck of the woods. But since you guys are coming back down to Texas, I had to hop in. I'm in Houston, events in Dallas. So if I don't show up, that kind of looks bad, right? Houston fighters got to show up. Texas fighters got to show up to the Texas event. So I'm back and I'm ready.
Hey, man, speaking of Texas showing up, you guys are showing up. I mean, this is really an all-out Texas affair. A lot of guys standing up, even some new Texas guys. You're actually fighting someone from Texas. It looks like he might be in that Lubbock, Dallas area, because from what I hear, he's met up with some of the other Border Wars fighters to get some sparring, to say the least. And you are fighting Anthony Catch the Dad, right?
I'm fighting Zuma. I thought.
Yeah. That's him.
Okay, okay.
His real name is Anthony, but he prefers to be
Gotcha.
called Catch the Dad.
Gotcha.
So you're fighting a dad, man. How old are you? For all those that don't know out there, man, you're a young guy, no?
I'm 26 years old.
26, entrepreneur. Do you think that the dad is a little bit in over his head, as you obviously are bringing in the youth? You have the amateur experience. And you've been under the lights of Border Wars already, so you know at least what that is, where he doesn't have that. I call that an advantage. Do you?
I would certainly see it as an advantage, but I would say every fighter is a little bit different. Some guys can just hop in there like it's nothing, and the lights don't affect them, the cameras don't affect them, and they perform well. So I'm certainly not underestimating them, but on paper, yes, I would say that's an advantage.
Now, I mean, how could I say this? Obviously, everybody wants to win. But what are you doing to ensure that? Because some might say that maybe you're not going to be coming in the best of your ability because this isn't the weight that you fought at the last time. I don't know. So I guess you can clear that up. You did fight at 175. Now you're fighting at 190. What's the thought process behind moving up to cruiserweight?
Yeah, just to give a little example, I walk around at 200. So going down to 175 as not like a professional fighter, not doing this as a professional fighter, that's a big drop. And I don't make any excuses for my last fight, but I did feel a little drained. It took
you don't have to, Shawn. You don't have to. I seen it. I was gonna say it for you, but go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the tape, I looked huge on fight day. Like, I couldn't even believe I was 175, to be honest. I thought the scale was broken. Like, it took everything I had to get down to 175. So this time, when you hit me back and you were like, Ant wants to fight at 175, I was like, nah, I'm good on that. Because if I can come in at 190, I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to be worried about the weight. I'm going to feel strong.
Punch
as long as I can throw bombs. As long as my cardio, as long as I'm in conditioning, I'm good. The weight's just going to translate to power for me.
Hold on. The reason why I say
let me jump in here just to add a little bit of spice. Obviously, you've already, done what many, Mexican fighters take 20, 30 fights to do. You've already fought that slick black style in, for sure, Fire D. Young guy, 6 amateur fights. But now you're going to be facing Anthony, who is, I want to believe, Mexican style. Definitely has to be Latino with a last name that'll remain silent until he allows us. But I want to believe this is Mexican style. But when I watched the tape, he had that Sergio Martinez. That's what I got off of him. Like, it felt like Sergio with the hands down, and he's like head bobbing. What did you get out of the little bit of tape that you've been able to get? But we are getting you full sparring this week with some of the other Texas guys.
Perfect. Yeah. Like you said, the tape was kind of short and it looked really, really, really old. Like, it looked like it was tape from before the iPhone was even invented, to be honest with you. But he looked very jumpy, very jittery, a lot of moving around. So he looks to be, or he was, whenever that tape was done, pretty slick of a fighter. But, the hands down, the constant movement, that's going to tire him out. And if you got your hands down, you're going to get hit by me. I promise you that.
Now, I don't know. I mean, you want to jump in, Francis? Because I'll ask questions forever.
Yeah, so do I. That's a good thing, Shawn. Honestly, I just want to touch back on your last fight because I don't know much about this opponent. You know what I mean? I want to give you your props and talk about some of the things that if you seen in the fight that you could have did better. Now, honestly, in that fight you looked massive, man. Your traps was huge. You're looking super yoked, but at times it looked like your feet was in sand. Like when you wanted to move, like your brain was telling your body to move, and your body was like, "Hell no, I ain't doing that." and I felt like DeMarcus realized when you were able to actually pick up your body and do what your mind said, you were able to push him back and hurt him. You were clearly the bigger guy because when you're leaning on him on the ropes, it could tell. What is your strategy putting on, 15 more pounds, 20 more pounds on top of it that's going to help you to, one, not feel like you're running in sand or walking in sand, and two, maintain that strength and that power that you're looking to carry?
Yeah, I honestly, I just didn't feel comfortable at the weight. I'm a lot more comfortable at 190. Like I said, I had to kill myself to make weight. As far as walking in sand, to be honest with you, and I never shared this on anything after the fight, but I was a little too timid in that fight. For sure, Fire D, he was very slick. He did have a lot of skills. He did bring in some composure that I wasn't necessarily expecting, and it made me a little hesitant. So I'm going into this camp, I'm going into this fight, knowing the mistake I made in that fight, being hesitant, not throwing as many punches as I should have thrown, and not coming forward as much as I should have came forward. And I'm taking all that into training camp. So when I do my sparring, I'm coming forward. My feet are not in sand. I'm not afraid to throw punches, and I'm moving forward.
Do you feel like you hurt DeMarcus at all in that point, at any point in that fight?
I do.
Like within yourself, like other than what people's talking about, like actually within yourself, like I can tell, like I actually hurt him a few times in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, in the third round, I think everyone could tell he was much more tired in the third round than I was. I wanted to go 3 more rounds. I wanted to go 3 more rounds. I felt like I had hurt him with a few of those shots. I think I didn't connect enough of them to make a real impact. Had I done that, I think it would have been more evident.
Go ahead, Ness, you can jump in.
Well, I wasn't
expecting
you want me to continue?
that.
Yeah, continue. I'll catch the flow in a sec.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually looking for his Unguarded post just so we can have it pulled up. If you haven't already dropped Shawn Mission Impossible Jones a question, head on over to patreon.com/Thaboxingvoice. I'll be posting that link right now as I just found it, and I'll pin it to the top of Patreon for anybody that is having difficulties.
Okay, so what surprised you the most about, one, the entire event, two, actually getting in the ring and looking at your opponent across from you compared to this time now, knowing what you're getting into, getting prepared? Like, what's the mindset?
Yeah, so I mean, coming in the last event, I had one amateur fight. And as you know, in the amateurs, you don't know who you're fighting until the day of. Like, you have no idea, right? And so this was different because I did know who I was fighting. I didn't have I had a decent amount of film, enough to see, but man, fighters look different and they perform different when you see them in person. The film is one thing. In person is a whole nother when you're standing right across the ring from them. And you guys talk about it all the time. Like, you guys want to talk about other fighters, but can you get in the ring yourself? It's a whole nother ballgame when you're on the other side of the ropes and the referee's in the middle and he says, go, he says fight. It's a whole nother level. So I guess it was jitters. I hadn't fought for a couple of years. My last amateur bout was a few years before the DeMarcus fight. So there was nerves. There was definitely jitters. This time I know exactly what I'm expecting. It was only, a year ago, guys? We were in Dallas. Maybe not even that. No, it was in February. So not even a year ago. So I know what to expect. Won't have the jitters. Won't have anything like that. Ready to go in there and fight.
So I'm being told in the chat that Dad is actually 25. Catch the Dad's actually 25, so he's younger than you. Were you expecting that? I didn't think he was 25. Did I put that in your head that he was older, or did he look older off the tape to you? Where did you kind of put him in age when you first seen that tape?
Well, the tape looked like it was from the 90s, so I didn't really know where to put him at in age, to be honest with you. But realistically, I assumed he was probably close to my age. You guys do a really good job of matchmaking, so I assumed he was pretty close to my age.
Okay. So do you think that you having the edge in the youth department is gone now that he's a year younger?
I don't know his background, but I've been in sports athletics my entire life: basketball, football, track. And boxing at a fairly high level in track as well as in football. So, no, I mean, he doesn't have any advantage in the physical thing, I wouldn't say.
Now, I got to go back through my messages with him to see what exactly he said in terms of height. But you're 6'2" or 6'1"? Because you're pretty tall with great posture.
I'm 6'1".
Okay. See, that 6'1" looks like 6'2" in my opinion, but all right.
With the great posture, that's why.
Yeah. No, seriously.
It's the traps. It's the traps.
It's the traps. Looking like Steve Cunningham, man. Steve Cunningham shocked me, bro. Them traps are crazy. So let's see where's Catch the Dad at. I just want to pull up these messages and see. He did
So while
say,
he's pulling up the message, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that he did say it's been a minute since he's actually gotten in there and stuff like
Hey, Shawn,
that.
give us a little bit of insight into your training. Like, you know what I'm saying? What type of a conditioning are you doing? How's your mitt work and your sparring? And, you know, how's everything going so far?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, this has kind of been a short camp for me. I didn't really know if I was going to participate in this border wars or not, but I kind of felt obligated to being it's in Texas, and I did want to get back in the ring and compete. So this is honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I started training camp on Monday. This is a 4-week training camp for me. I stay in shape, keep my hands quick, but that doesn't mean conditioning, right? So I'm going to this camp, you know, conditioning is key. The hands are there. Mitt work with the coach is fine. I'm going to get the sparring that I need. Not worried about that. Really just going in, making sure I'm loose, make sure I'm relaxed, make sure my running, my conditioning is on point. That's what camp's looking like for me, man. As long as I get my sparring in, as long as I get my runs in, I'll be ready to rock and roll on fight night. Like I said, I'm not killing myself to make weight. So it's not anything. As long as I'm conditioned, as long as the hands are tight, we're good.
So what are you doing for conditioning? Sorry, Nez, are you running? Are you biking? Are you swimming? Are you what kind of conditioning are you doing right now? You doing aerobics? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm a runner. Usually I'll do 2 to 3 somewhat long, medium to long range runs a week, and then I like to throw some sprints in there on the other days as well. I ran the 100 meter dash and track, so usually sprints, and then I'll throw a 3 to 7 mile run 2 or 3 times a week in there.
So actually the stats are 5'10". He's 199 on his way to 190, he says. Yeah, 5'10", 6'1". That's not that bad. That seems pretty even. Shawn, man, I mean, do you feel pressure? I never been in that predicament, and I'm not trying to turn it into a joke. My matchmaking for myself probably is a little softer than yours, right? Like you are going in, you went in tough with a dude that's I don't know, is he 6-0, 6-2? But I mean, he sent me sparring at 200 plus. So DeMarcus, obviously very talented, and we'll see just how much when he squares off against Elias the Lioness. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about your opponent and the whole 5'10"? Bigger, stronger. What are you thinking?
I mean, usually when I get in the ring, I'm the bigger guy, typically, unless I'm clearly fighting a heavyweight. So, I mean, I think when we get in there, I'm going to be the bigger guy. I'm going to be the taller guy. I'm going to be the guy that's expected to go ahead and push the action. He's probably going to be a little bit slicker, going to be moving around, and it's going to be my job to put him in awkward situations and catch him with a hard shot. I'm not really worried about it. I've been in so many different sparring matches. I've been in the ring with, ex-pros, been in the ring with JD. As you guys know, JD did a lot of sparring with him, done some sparring with some guys who are my weight in the pros. I'm actually talking to a current pro right now, trying to get some sparring. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the opponent. Both fights I've had, I didn't know who I was fighting. Obviously I had film from DeMarcus, but like I said, it's different when you actually get in the ring with them.
But are you approaching this different? I guess I went about that wrong, right? Because I feel like when you came into Border Wars, you had this chip on your shoulder. Here's Mitty reminding me that, you're running away from him, that you said you would come and get the belts at 168, but now you are fighting at 190. So I do remember, you having a lot to say for guys like Rell and you kind of were setting things up with who else? Anthony. And maybe I'm sure Marvin having those belts at Cruiserweight. I'm probably sure you mentioned Marvin once or twice. So how are things different? Because we don't see that attitude. We do see a more humbled, Shawn.
Yeah, man, to be honest, I've been focused on business, man. I've been focused on business. I've been working. And I didn't want to give that negative energy off. Felt like there was enough crazy testosterone going on in the chat. I didn't need to throw any more gasoline into the fire this time around. I wanted to go ahead and let my skills in the ring talk for themselves. I did take an L last time, so I do have to kind of humble myself a little bit, get back on the horse and do what I got to do. I want to show people that the glimpses of glory that they saw from me in the last fight can come out in spades in this one.
Definitely. Well put. So listen, man, young guy, 26 years old, entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with Gentleman Driving Club and how that became a passion for you.
Yeah, so I've always been a car enthusiast. Loved anything that had to do with cars. And so I decided to create Gentleman's Driving Club. It's an international car club, online community, and apparel company. We've shipped to over 9 different countries in the last 3 years of doing business. And we've got members from all those 9 countries. But that's how I kind of got started with the business. I started it as solely an apparel company. You need a product to get to your audience, but really it's always about the community. So we have a private Discord group that we're all collaborating in. People do modding advice. They post pictures, videos, content, all kinds of stuff. Pay a monthly membership to be in the club, and they get access to all the car shows that we do, all the events that we do, the online forums, all that good stuff. And we just have a great time, man. People from all walks of life who have every different type of car. We accept people who love their Hondas. We accept people who have Ferraris, and anything in between. Hellcats, Corvettes, Mustangs, doesn't matter. If you got a passion for cars, we want you in the club.
Hey, quick question. While you're on that, you had one to bag it? You want to go? Or you want me to go? Okay, so quick question, man, because I love cars, man. I love you car. Now, give me your first car you ever got. Okay. First question. Second question, your favorite car of all time. Yep. And your third car would be sports car. Give me your favorite sports car. Now, you know how, I don't need to tell you. Go ahead.
So my first car was a 2000 Ford Mustang V6. Actually, I grew up loving Mustangs, and I knew that had to be my first car. So that was my first car. I've had a 2016 Mustang. I've had a 2008 C6 Corvette. Currently have an Audi A4 and a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I'm souping up to be the Too Fast, Too Furious build. The purple Roman, what's his name? Roman build. So, but my favorite sports car is a Corvette C7 Z06. That's the next car on my list. I plan on getting that in 2021.
Sick. And your sports car? So I guess it just falls in the same category.
That's it, man. That C7 Z06. That's the one.
I love it, man. I love it. What was the car that got you into loving cars?
65 Mustang.
What about the Mustang that is so eye-catching and so? I know this is not a car show, but we're dealing with a guy that loves cars, so we want to get a little bit into it. And it's his time, so y'all relax.
American muscle, man. American muscle. You cannot, we're all Americans. We got to support American made.
Nah, American muscle, I'm with you on that, man. I love me some American cars, I always loved the Challenger, but I went with the Camaro at the time of the Challenger. I really liked that SRT Challenger, though. I just felt it was slightly overpriced for the horsepower. You got more, in my opinion. I believe you got more with the Camaro out the box, stock. But, man, I'm into American muscle. I had the GTO, too, a Pontiac, when they remade the GTO. So I had the 05, and yeah, man, I like some American muscle. That's my plan is to get another car in the future, That's some American. So what do you drive? And which one is it?
Yeah, right now I've got a 2010 Audi A4, all blacked out.
That's
Beautiful
not American
car.
muscle. That's
Exactly.
not
I was about
American
to
muscle.
say.
Come on, man.
German.
That's luxury, man.
So like I said, like I said, so I've had Mustangs, I've had Corvettes. Currently I'm rocking German. I'm driving the Audi. But like I said, June of 2021, I'm going back to the American side and getting that Z06.
So let me ask you, does Gentleman Driving Club, do they, I guess, give you the opportunity to drive exotic cars, or is it just a group of people that with love for exotic cars? What exactly is being done at GDC? Wait, Gentleman. GDC.
we do all of the above, man. We host car shows, we host car meets, we have the online community. We've got a pretty decent following on Instagram. We've built over the last 3 years. And it does give me access to some exotic cars because people who join the club, like I said, they've got cars from, something basic like a Camaro all the way to Ferrari, Lamborghini.
Damn, he
like
just
that.
shut us down. All us Camaro lovers. All us Camaro. He said something basic like a Camaro. Yo, murdered us.
We do get a lot of traction. The name is out there, so when I go to a car show or an event,
I know why you said that. Fuck that. This guy's he's a Mustang. He's a Mustang guy. That's why you said that.
Oh my god.
That's why he said that. Listen, everybody knows that the Camaro bodies the Mustang, and Mustang have hated Camaro. All Mustang lovers hate Camaros.
If you're gonna buy a Chevy, it better be a Corvette.
Ooh, that is true, man. I can't. But listen, the Camaro is the poor man's Corvette. Everybody can't afford it. What is a Camaro? A Corvette is at least 110.
Yeah. No, the new one, yes, the brand new one, yeah.
I mean, shit, that new body is the body. The one that's been out for like the last 4 years. That's the sexy body. The latest one that they made. I mean, I know they got some classics out there that are nice, but this latest body that's been out for at least 3 to 4 years, that's the really sexy body with the nice taillights and the double pipe down the middle. Looking good.
That's the one. That's the one I'm planning on getting in June.
Well, there you go. That's the newer one, man. Those newer ones are definitely sexy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
but
for me,
I know y'all want to talk. I know y'all want to talk about the beef.
What beef? What beef? Between who?
Between Terrell, a little bit of Marvin.
Damn, you got beef with Marvin too? Oh, it's getting
No. I don't have beef with Marvin. He is in the division. He's got the belts. I'm very excited to see his fight with Terrell. I feel like T is just he's a big crybaby, man. He's a huge crybaby. And if Marvin fails to beat him, which I don't think he will, but if he does, I would love the opportunity to take those belts off of Terrell's hands. That would be like icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Especially
the truth
to do it as a guy who ain't going pro.
Truth be told, if you can win, because it'll end up being catch the dad if it ain't true, but Marvin allegedly, the rumor is on the street, Marvin is just looking to win and vacate because he's trying to go back down. He's trying to continue to move down to 175. So those belts will become vacant, I mean, if you can get a win, that puts you at 1-1, puts Terrell at 1-1. Hypothetically, if he loses, maybe there can be something to be talked about there. I know there's some feud between the two of you, so you never know. But Catch the Dad said, you got to talk to him first.
What's the story on this guy?
Catch the Dad?
Yeah.
All right, well, I just hit him up and I said, I know I asked you, but let me get that experience level again. So he said he fought at 152, and he used to fight from 147 to 160, but he's only got 3 amateur fights. And
so he's a little guy. So he's a little guy.
I mean, he 5'10". He 5'10", 200. I don't think he little.
Talk that talk, Shawn.
Yeah, man. You know what 5'10", 200 looks like?
I
You know
mean,
what
his
5'10",
video,
200 looks like, dog.
his video ain't look like he was out of shape. But I mean, nonetheless, in 3 fights, he won a Golden Gloves in 2000.
Come on, Ness, let him go. Ness, it's
Come on,
Unguarded.
man.
Let him
Yo,
go,
in
Ness.
Come on, man.
Yo.
They give Golden Gloves out to everybody. If you're the
Oh!
best kid, if you're the best kid in your little city of 100 people, they'll give you a Golden Glove. Come on, dog.
Wow.
You know that, Ness. You know that. You've been in the game. Just because you got a Golden Glove don't mean you ain't shit. Come on.
Oh, I mean, listen, 3 fights, that mean he did like a one-day tournament or something and then won, man.
Exactly.
In his division, though, he was 152, 147, 160, so them ain't little divisions.
Ness, my left nut weighs more than 150, bro.
Man.
Come on.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you something. I've been, Ness, let's be real here. I've been at least 165 since I was in like 9th grade, okay? So this guy's fighting as an adult at 150 and thinks he can come up here with the big boys?
Nah. He said 2012, so that's a long time ago. He's grown
8
since
years?
then. Yeah, he's grown since then. That Golden Gloves in those 3 amateur fights was 2012.
Yeah, but in 2008, I still weighed like 165, 170.
Hey, man, listen. You had the weight and the height and the reach advantage over for Surefire D.
Hey, Francis, you see how they do me? They're like, oh, yeah, you're the bigger fighter. You supposed to win. You see how they do me, Francis?
I'm doing you how they do me. Listen,
Shawn, that's why you talk your talk. Let it out. Little guy coming up, man.
No, listen, I'm giving you the same that they give me. As big men, we're expected to perform. We're expected to win. And, we're expected to exceed expectations. You know that. I thought you was going to win just based off size. Watching you come in with no shot, I said, damn, my man's in for a tough one. And I was talking about for Surefire D. That wasn't the case. I mean, not that it wasn't the case, but, you didn't get that win. So I'm just saying, you can't underestimate, man. You never know.
You know what? In the third round, he turned up, though, Ness. In the third round, he turned up. Like he said, he had 2-3 more rounds to go. He started to get warm in the third round. He started bouncing like, yo,
yeah, and we talked about that, man. I talked about that. Now that Doomy isn't reffing and we're going to have a celebrity ref, Steve Willis, in the building, you should talk to Doomy so you could be warming up. You don't. Like, there's no extra rounds. After the third, it's over. So, yeah, he got warmed up in the third, but, it's over. It's a race to 2, man. Keith Thurman style. He said race to 7. Border Wars, baby, race to 2, and it's over. Unless that third round, you get that knockdown, then you can draw it out. And even still, people might not give you that I don't know. You can find some bad judging, right? In a 3-round fight, you get the third round and knockdown, and if you don't, really, really take advantage. What if someone says it's still a 10-9 because, Catch the Dad hit you with a few rights or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, man, it's you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges, man, for real.
No,
never do. I would go ahead and expect a second-round knockout.
Wow. I don't do that. You calling knockout on a dude you never even seen like that.
You said I don't do that.
I don't do that.
That's just terrible.
I don't do that because you just don't know. Yo, I was watching my fight last night, bro, and Eddie clipped me with a left hook. I never knew.
He did.
You just don't know. I mean, after that, I hit him with a right. He went down, but you just don't know. You just don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, you gotta let it play out.
Hold on, Shawn. That first knockdown that Ness had. Listen, Eddie crossed his foot. He was already going down, but I'll give it to you, though. I'll give it to you.
Yo, listen.
Look, here's the deal. When you really get in your mental and you meditate on this fight and you start to visualize what's going to happen, you can see the whole thing. You can see exactly how it's going to play out based on your game plan, based on how you feel when you get in the ring. You gotta visualize it. You gotta visualize it, dog.
I disagree. It has to play out because, like, my man got this Sergio Martinez style. He's on his left and right lateral, shoulder kind of head, Mike Tyson moving, but then his hands down. You just don't know. What if that throws you off? Could
I'm
throw
gonna
your
walk
timing
through
off.
this man.
It could throw
I'm
your
gonna walk
timing
through
off.
this man. I'm gonna walk through this man.
That was
You're
the
not
mistake.
listening.
That was
You're
the
not listening.
no. You not watching. That was your mistake in the last fight. You gotta use a jab. Use the jab this time, man. You too long to abandon the jab, bro.
Ness,
For
he
real.
couldn't use the jab. He was walking in sand.
No,
he was
no.
so nervous
Listen.
and tired.
You long. You're orthodox, right? Not southpaw, right? You orthodox?
Correct.
Use the Mayweather, man. Go fucking Daniel LaRusso. Paint the fence on this guy. Stomach, head. Keep him at bay. Then land that long ass reach you got, man. Come on. Yo, for real. Don't walk him down just on some high guard shit, man. What if he got a... That's what happened with a Surefire D. He had a nasty left hook. That was it. Boom. Pivot. No, listen. Yo, even when you blocked it, he still made you play defense because he would throw the hook and pivot out, man. And then eventually he started adding the right hand to it. I don't know. I wouldn't go with the walk down unless you're going to Earl Spencer walk down, like body, try to muscle him, but still throwing shots to the body. But he Mexican style, I'm assuming. Let me text him, see what's his nationality.
Yeah,
But
crazy. That's crazy.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. But I also felt like I didn't throw enough shots, and I felt like I was too far on the outside to like. I felt like I made the fight a lot harder than it needed to be. I felt like if I would have just bodied him like I did in the third round, I would have won the fight. I felt like if I would have bodied him in the first two rounds like I did in the third round, the judges couldn't have given it to him.
But it took you that time for them 2 rounds to warm up. That's the issue. You got to start faster in the amateur fight. And, even though we got some pro rules, still 3 rounds, still 2-minute rounds. You got to pick up that pace. And, I would say work behind that jab, man. How is he going to get around that jab? That's a long reach. It's a long reach. If you double, put some feints in there, you got to command some sort of ring generalship, If not, imagine he is typical Mexican. He's going to come to you. Now you fighting off the back foot. Now that jab becomes a timing thing. If you ain't timing it, you overshooting it. I just hope, listen, get with JD. Stop taking shit lightly. Get with JD. Get some more sparring in. Because, look, I want to see you win, even though I want to see him win, right? Everybody's signing up. I have no dog in the fight, but I always feel a certain type of way when a dude gets a loss. I want you to win just as bad as you want to win. So, you got to do what you need to do. Don't go in there thinking I'm walking this guy down, man. We got to man. He want to walk him down, guys. All right. Better walk him down like Earl, I'm telling you. But let's go out to these questions. We got a few here. First one is from Jordan Baker in Florida. Pound for pound status says, what's good, Shawn? Welcome back to Border Wars. If you win your next fight, give us a 3-fight plan.
3-fight plan. I want whoever has the belt at 190. I'd love to fight T. We don't have super personal beef, but it is a fight him and I have been talking about. We came into Border Wars at the same time. And if he got the belt, then that's a great fight to make. And obviously, I think the build-up to it would be phenomenal. Between him and I going back and forth, I think it would be great. So I'd like to fight Terrell. I would love to get in there with Ant still. That's still a fight I want. I think he thinks he's better than he really is, and I'd love to prove it wrong. For me, he's just a musclehead and doesn't have much. I don't see much there. Maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd love to see the Ant fight, the T fight, and who else? I don't know. I'm gonna let Francis pick the third one. Or Ness. Ness or Francis. Who would you like to see on the third one?
You said Marvin, right? You said Rell and Ant. Marvin is the only other name in there that makes sense. Until someone else,
was that 190, right?
Yeah, 190.
I don't know. I call it weird or not, but I think it would be a good stylistic matchup, man.
Who?
For him to fight Cruz at 190.
I mean, possibility, but that's a fight that we.
I'm saying an all Texas showdown. You know what I mean?
I'm sure Cruz gonna want a title. Listen, Shawn's a high risk, man.
That's what I'm saying.
High risk, no reward at this moment. Unless it's an eliminator, why would Cruz, who's like, I don't know, 5'8", maybe 5'7", fight a dude that's 6'2", 6'1"?
Because he got the power. They say he got the power, man. They say he can box and he got power.
Who?
Against a Cruz. Against a bigger guy like Shawn who got power and can box. I mean, it's a classic matchup of the good little man beating the good big man, right?
No, Cruz is definitely in that conversation because he's in that weight class. Size is not anybody's problem. You put yourself in that weight class, but
all right.
I'm sure they won't take that fight unless there's an eliminator or a belt on the line. You know, he's advised by Coach Mitty, man.
Well, he was advised not to entertain my fight on this last go around. So I don't know what was going on there. I like Cruz. Nothing negative against Cruz, but Cruz didn't want that fight.
Yeah, no, listen, Cruz is entitled to get a soft touch. He's coming off a loss and a long layoff. I think he's got over 15 months, that he doesn't fight. His last fight was in Jersey. And I think since Jersey, we've been to Dallas and Pittsburgh, now back to Dallas. So, I could see Cruz, not wanting to take a fight with you right now because then his resume would read, an amateur in Huracan who turned pro. It would be a heavyweight, one of my former opponents. Then it was Ant in a loss, 15-month layoff, and a 190-pound fight with Mission Impossible. That sounds like an impossible mission.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Nah, he's got to get his feet back wet, and and then, like I said, I know they won't turn it down if there was an eliminator or a title, and I think if you're smart, if I was advising him, I'd tell him to wait because those titles might be vacant in a fight. A fight and a half. It all depends. If Rell wins, he does want to defend it. He did mention you, and I think he wants Ant to fight Marvin while he fights you, and then the winner of that, hopefully is Marvin, and he'll give Marvin the rematch. Is how he envisions it.
Hey, Mission, what is your take? What is your take on fighting a heavyweight? Yeah, you plan on fighting a heavyweight at any point?
I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure if it was Rell, that fight.
Because I like this matchup right here that I'm looking at. This one right here. See, after you go and fight whoever win the belt between Rell and Marvin, and you go and do what you gotta do and win the titles, you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm vacating because I'm going for big fish.
I mean, as the cruiserweight champ, he ain't really got to vacate, right? Usyk took a minute before he dropped them belts.
I know, but he's saying I'm going big game hunting. Like, forget these little men. I want the big fish.
Nah,
and he challenges to take the fight.
I'll tell you what. If I'm fighting Ness, I'm gonna be in the weight room. I'll be in the weight room for about 3 months. I'm not opposed to hopping into the heavyweight league. I played football. It's not hard for me to put on weight or necessarily to lose weight. Much easier for me to put on the muscle. So no, I'm not opposed to it. Obviously,
that heavyweight division is heavy.
No beef.
That heavyweight division is getting real heavy. No, it's not even about me. There's a lot of people there now, But I think a guy like yourself with your youth and your height and size, you can navigate through that division fairly well, man. I see that. I can definitely see that happening.
I almost jumped into that conversation, but I said, you know what? Let me just tell Ness 190.
Yeah. I mean, damn, was there anybody? I mean, the thing is look, I know that's what I'm saying. Everything needs time to develop because, right, like available heavyweights this time around would have been Super Megs. He wasn't trying to fight you. Super Megs got a little weight loss journey, and maybe in the future, it won't bother him to lose to you because he's challenging and pushing himself. But right now, he's already in a battle with the weight loss. So he's got to knock that out before he could challenge someone like yourself.
He in a tough fight, man.
It's just difficult in that heavyweight division. You got to be not only selective, but it's got to match up with people's schedule, man. But it's gotten heavier, man. Hopefully we get to see the return of Sony and some other guys out there.
For sure.
But anyway, we got the next part of that question was, where are we here? Next part of that question was also, who is 2 guys you really want to fight?
2 guys I really want to fight. I already said it. T and Ant.
All right. So Terrell and Anthony, Queen City Cobra. Terrell Fireflame from Detroit. We got Elias here in New Jersey says, let's go, Shawn, with some, flexing emojis, 100 emojis, some fire, all that goodness, and the gloves. So no question, just showing you support. Eddie Bola de Grasa, captain of Team Las Vegas. Shout out to Eddie, man, for being just as great as J-Mac and taking out the time to help train Smoke 'em Out Jay, who's going to be in a heavyweight fight versus the aforementioned Joseph Big Super Mex Rodriguez. Eddie goes on to say, Shawn, you lost to For Sure Fire D. How did you feel right after the fight? Defeated?
I felt...
That's what he said. That's what he had to pause and then he put defeated?
Yeah. I felt disappointed in my performance. I felt like if I'd have thrown more punches and if I could have got my feet out of the sand, I'd have been just fine and it would have been up to the judges. I actually had someone pull me aside, multiple people pull me aside and said, hey, if you would have just thrown more punches, it would have been a lot closer on the cards and I may have even had you winning. So, disappointed in my own performance, but, I respected For Sure Fire D. He did what he had to do, and we move on.
Yo, so his second part was, or did you just want to get right back in there? And then he goes on to say it was a close fight, but I think his amateur experience pulled it out. Good luck on the next fight. If we can eventually get him in there, I got the right opponent for you. Rockstar. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I doubt he'll ever fight you. Just the fact, I'm saying it, the fact that you're young and black, he's gone. He'll never fight you. He'll never fight you, bro. Never. But we'll see.
I don't know who he is.
And you never will. Every season you'll hear about him, though. He's like the ghost of Border Wars. We hear about him. He allegedly is gonna fight every season, but no one ever sees him, man. We got the heavyweight. They threw him on the pound for pound. I want your scalp, old man. Sir Bishop says, shout out to my man, Shawn. Good to see you staying active with Border Wars. Question, how old were you when you had your first desire to become an entrepreneur?
I was 19 years old. When I was 19 years old, I graduated high school, went to community college, absolutely hated college. And it was at that point where I was like, I'm not doing this shit for the next 3 years. I was like, I gotta get out. I gotta start my own business. I gotta do this thing. So I learned very early that I didn't want to do the traditional route.
Super chat from Ronald Finkley. TBV with the 2 glove emojis. Shout out. Thank you for the support. Adrian Ronan from Wisconsin is asking, do you think anybody has the power to bother you in your division?
Good question.
I don't think there's anyone. And well, are we talking 175 or are we talking 190? What are we talking about?
190.
I mean, you the one get to pick what division you fight.
And at 175, I don't think anyone could hurt me. At 190, I think Marvin's got power. Everyone else in that division, I'm not really checking for. I don't think I'd be worried about anyone else's power in that division. But I respect Marvin's power. I respect his boxing ability. But I'm not afraid of anyone else's power whatsoever.
And he wants to know, let me see here before I start paraphrasing. Does it seem harder to let your hands go when being pressured?
If I let him get inside my jab, yeah. But the goal is not to let him get inside your jab. Absolutely.
All right. Well, those are all the TBV fam questions. This is probably the end of Unguarded. If you have any social media, I know you got GDC. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find that and, how they can follow you, I guess, if you're going to be posting any of your workout footage. Hopefully, he's sending us exclusive stuff here in the next couple of days to help build up his fight. Maybe some shadow boxing in front of that sexy is it? A McLaren? Look, I can't even pronounce expensive cars. I stay on my American muscle, man.
McLaren 570S, one of the funnest cars I've ever gotten the privilege to drive. But you guys can follow my personal account at the official Shawn Jones on Instagram. That's where I'll post any training footage. You can follow Gentleman's Driving Club on Instagram at Gentleman's Driving Club. We post a lot of cool content there. I love Bishop. By the way, I want to make this comment. Bishop's an awesome dude. I hate that people were hating on him during the last event. I wouldn't mind fighting Bishop, even though y'all call him a ringer. I wouldn't mind fighting Bishop at heavyweight.
Be careful what you ask for. Hey, Shawn.
Would Bishop fight you, man?
Hold on. Both of you guys be careful what you ask for, man.
Wow.
I'm just telling you right now, man. Because next you don't want it. You were asking for it from Border Wars 7 in Dallas. Oh, who won it? Rell, Bishop? And now you ducking talking about, oh, he do nothing. He got to get 2 wins. I think you need to take that fight.
Bruh. Let me tell you something.
Right now, no
Let me tell you something.
You know it too, man.
I did the right thing. Listen. If you can't see that,
I'm 40.
No, listen. If you can't see I did the right thing, then you don't know nothing about boxing, and you the same dude that told Deontay to take the Dazn deal. Because look, when the pound for pound list came out after Border Wars 8, he wasn't on it. When he fought, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I thought he was 5.
No, hell no. And you talking about Bishop? I'm talking about Rell. I'm talking about Rell.
Okay.
You said I ducked Rell, so this is what I'm trying to say. No,
I didn't say you ducked. I'm talking about Bishop. No, I said you called in the video.
No, but you said, oh, I'm telling him he need to go do something, and he only got 1 fight. So I'm addressing that because the truth is, after he fought Morocco Joe, his performance was so poor. He didn't make the list. I was on the list. Marvin was on the list. I've been chasing Marvin since he was a heavyweight, but he don't want the smoke. He'd rather lose weight.
Sparring. I remember that sparring.
He know his whole gym shut down after I hit him with the left hook. They like, ho. They try to get me out of there. So, with Rell.
Shawn, I seen that left hook.
With Rell, no one knew him. He didn't make the pound for pound list.
No, I'm agreeing with you on
that. So then Bishop comes out of nowhere, gets a knockout, makes the list. I am calling him out because he's on the list, and if he's on the list, I could fucking go to number 1. But we all know Bishop got a plan, and I ain't in it, man. You know that. I know that, man.
What I do know is that since you ducked him after 7, he called out Supermax, and Supermax said yes.
Oh, no. So, that's what you don't know. Remember that I got to play matchmaker and promoter and fighter. So Bishop asked me to set up the Santiago fight. So I reached out.
Is Bishop fighting in December?
Not this one.
Okay. Well, shout out to Bishop. He's a good dude. Nothing but love. But that would be a good fight. I'd like to see how I match up against someone who's actually taller than me.
Yo, look at Marvin talking fake news. Go ahead. I see you sparring so you can finally get some confidence because daddy got your heart. Who's your daddy? Yo, you see them sparring big dudes so he can finally get some heart, man? Get out of here. 3 years later, you still ain't avenged that ghost.
Oh, my God.
But no, you guys are terrible. But no, Shawn, what do you think about maybe like fighting somebody like different styles, right? So you fighting a shorter fighter in Cruz and then like a taller fighter in Rell that's around the same size. Which one do you prefer fighting? A taller fighter or a shorter fighter?
I'm always going to prefer fighting a shorter fighter. I mean, just have the advantage of height is a great thing. I think number one for optics on the opposite side. I mean, whenever you're fighting a taller fighter, it's something you think about, and I like to give people something to think about.
Okay.
All right, yo, give out that social media, Shawn, so we can go ahead and end it. We definitely are going to be right back live at 7 p.m. with our Thursday flagship edition. Mario Barrios pulled out, but he's going to be pulling in on 9:30 tomorrow morning on the morning show. He'll wake up 8:30 his time in Texas out there and jump on with us. But Shawn, Mission Impossible, I want to thank you not only for coming on, but for also being a two-time, man. Being a two-time Border Wars returnee. So many people, either get a win or don't get a win and disappear. You're still here, and that's very important, man. So can't wait to call your next fight. Hopefully I'm not too biased.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited for Border Wars, and look forward to seeing everybody there.
All right. Did you give out the GDC social media?
Yep, at Gentlemen's Driving Club on Instagram and at the official Shawn Jones on Instagram.
Hey, Shawn, I forgot to tell you that like my favorite car is the Rolls Royce, baby. That double R all day long. Sports car. If I had to pick a sports car, the car that got me into loving cars is that Lamborghini Diablo.
Go get it, man.
Marvin, don't nobody want you because you little. We want you because you fool. That's what you are. You fool. You fool, and you knew you was fooled. That's why you started losing weight, getting the hell out the division. But we out. We out.
All right, guys.